Dooku gets captured, we go to Florham. And we fall into that nest of Gundark. This is Sides of Coins, and it starts right now. Gundarks.
Gundarks.
It's such a hard time saying that word. I screwed it up 2 or 3 times already. Gundarks. Anyway, so this is Sides of Coins. We're talking about Clone Wars, and we've made it all the way to the episode where Dooku finds himself in a little bit of hot water. And joining us today in studio is Nick.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have you. Good to have you. And we got Angela producing us today as well. So we're gonna get into this and talk about what we saw and what we liked, what we didn't like, and move on through it. So I guess a brief synopsis of it is: Anakin has been captured by Count Dooku on purpose because of a plan that they don't really talk about, but he was working an op, right? And so Obi-Wan sneaks onto the ship to give him back his lightsaber and break him out of Separatist jail, and they walk up and they sneak up on Dooku. He's meditating, and they're just about to get the drop on him, and he flushes himself down this little chute he's got, and he sneaks away. He escapes. They chase after him, and they both crash land on this little planet that's home to the Gundarks and Vancor. Vancor is a planet. And so they find themselves in this cave, and Anakin and Obi Wan have some delightful banter about, trying to escape and survive, and then Dooku escapes with the help of Hondo Ohnaka, trying to go to Florham. He hitches a ride with these pirates, and turns out they capture him. They keep him for themselves. They try to hold him for ransom, and then Obi-Wan and Anakin go and try to collect on that. So that's the general synopsis of the episode. I thought it was a good time, but what did you think, Nick?
I kind of wanted to see the fight between Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Dooku. I mean, sure, it's already happened, but I enjoy lightsaber fights.
It's always a treat, yeah. But he had that little escape shoot there. You got to see a little Force lightning. That was pretty cool. But
kind of reminded me of Cloud City, the shoot.
Yeah, it definitely did. Yeah, that was pretty neat. I think the biggest standout moment for this episode was just, well, that's not really a singular moment, but my favorite thing was just the banter between Anakin and Obi-Wan going back and forth. It was like what we should have seen in Attack of the Clones. You know how like he was so angry and it was so awkward and you could cut the tension with a knife. I mean, now they've seemed to have moved beyond that, and it's sort of like they still rib each other, sort of like in Revenge of the Sith, but you really get to see that friendship, and they're just like, there's no Ahsoka around, so he doesn't have to, it's not undermining his authority. It's just two friends out on a mission trying to survive, and I found myself genuinely laughing a few times. I think Angela, you did as well, right? With like, at least your master is getting caught. It's just like,
yeah, that made me laugh pretty hard. I think the Anakin and Obi-Wan banter, I think they have to come in with some creative writing occasionally and be like, all right, we've got to do this in a funny way, because they just, like, it's 90% of their interactions is banter.
Yeah, no, that's true. And it was just neat to see that, like, a lot of times you'll smirk or you'll kind of exhale laugh, but like to just audibly laugh at something in a Cartoon Network show was pretty awesome. I enjoyed that a lot. What else? Anything else to jump out at you throughout the episode?
I was wondering why at the very beginning, when Obi-Wan opened the first cell and the prisoner started to come out, he was like, "Oh, nope," and closed them. And I was like, I mean, I guess I can kind of understand
who
not
are
trying
they?
to mess up the mission, but I mean, they'd be a good distraction or something, right?
Yeah, maybe. Those two random Nikto, a Star Wars story.
I'd pay to see that.
Yeah, right. No, it was funny. I enjoyed the episode a lot. Seeing the Gundark was pretty cool because we heard that line in A New Hope, or no, it was Empire when Han says he's looking strong enough to pull the ears off of Gundark, right? So to actually see that was pretty cool. All in all, what do you think of Hondo Ohnaka, the pirate that gets introduced in this episode? What was your reaction to him?
I didn't think he'd be such a main character. I thought for sure within 5 minutes Dooku would take him out.
Yeah. It's interesting how you get that sort of, you get introduced to this guy who, like you said, you imagine he's not long for this world once he picks a fight with Dooku, but he definitely gets a lot to do in this show, and he keeps popping back up, and then he pops up in Rebels as well. And I'm not sure. I haven't seen Resistance yet. I'm going to start watching that for the new season that comes out in the fall, but I think he's mentioned or something in that, but I know he's popped up in a lot of content, and he's at Galaxy's Edge as well for the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run ride as well. So he gets a lot to do in this show, and it's pretty neat to see his development.
Now I'm kind of excited to see that.
Yeah, just some random dude, and you know, I like it as a character trait when you can take somebody that's way out of their league and put them in a pond with a lot bigger fish, and then they still have to survive, and they find a way to do that. It's always neat to see. Dooku, it's neat to explore him in a different scenario too, where he's out of his element. He's up against the ropes a little bit too. That was cool to see.
Yeah, I liked. I thought it was kind of poetic when he was floating, chained up. You know, like Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
was.
right, exactly, like on Geonosis. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I love when we have images queued up for things we're talking about. It's just the bee's knees, man. But yeah, so like you imagine, like you said, it's very poetic because you know on Geonosis he was talking with them, and how the roles get reversed throughout this show. They get to play a lot with a lot of these different scenarios. Like we saw a few episodes back with the Malevolence thing, how like they flipped the Kenobi and Grievous interaction on its head and changed the roles around. It's really cool. This show, as we keep moving through it, just becomes more and more of a joy to watch. I like these episodes a lot.
They were not bad.
Yeah, I enjoyed the banter most of all, a lot of the dialogue, but meeting Hondo was cool. That band of pirates was neat. The Kowakian monkey lizard he had with him was, but you know,
What, you don't like the monkey lizards?
no, they're fine. It's just it seems like the type of pet, you know, like sort of a Long John Silver sort of vibe. He's got his parrot or whatever, but they're a bit obnoxious. But this one, at least, he was trained to his name was Pilf, so he pilfered things. That was his thing. He's the one that stole Dooku's lightsabers. So that's a pretty badass little monkey lizard there. You can steal the lightsabers off of the belt of a Sith Lord.
It reminds me strongly of the movie The Labyrinth. It seems like something straight out of that. It's a sort of
Like the fox that rode Ambrosius?
The what?
The fox that rode Ambrosius?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen The Labyrinth. I know it's
You should.
it's on my list for sure.
Disappointment awakens.
Oof. Yeah, well, you know, we'll have to do an episode on The Labyrinth and retro reviews. Late to the party, man. 20 years
We
or so
saw
late.
the Hunchback of Notre Dame for the first time yesterday, so we could do that one next.
Yeah, they're all it's all connected. It's all Disney properties, so it's all good.
They will own it.
But anyway, that was about it. The one thing I do want to say toward the end, it was kind of interesting to see Anakin and Obi Wan at that party, and they're about to get served what we assume and they assumed correctly was drugged drinks. They do that really cool force swap,
The old
and like, you know,
switcheroo.
hit them with their own roofies, and they just let them drink it, and then they collapse and they take a swig. So that was kind of neat to see. And then of course we open the next episode with them
Passed out,
which
so I thought was weird, unless they were literally drugging all of the drinks at the party. I didn't really understand how that happened.
They fell for the classic blunder. It was very odd, and we'll definitely get into that next time when we
Unless
talk
they
about.
just got drunk and passed out.
That's not the Jedi way.
I don't know, man.
It was interesting though, but we'll definitely talk about that next time. That's a good teaser for the next episode where we're going to get into that, and we'll discuss it then on Sides of Coins.
Tuflon. Welcome, Tuflon.